The Hoard was released in 2018. This is a comedy horror mockumentary directed by Jesse Thomas Cook and Matt Wiele, written by Tony Burgess, Cook, and Wiele, with a cast including Lisa Solberg, Tony Burgess, Barry Moore, Barrett, and various others. And in general, I guess it's okay. I didn't love it because of one reason, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But in general, it's not too bad. It's certainly very convincing. As a mockumentary, I believe they were creating this TV show where basically they look at houses of people who are hoarders, but the houses are also haunted. And they're definitely trying to capitalize on the fact that hoarding documentaries are very popular, and of course, paranormal TV shows are very popular. So, as a concept, I kind of hate it, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But I also think it's quite clever. I think they're leading into two things there that are quite popular and could have quite wide appeal. It's it's quite slow though. It's not the most engaging. I feel like as a TV show, as a for example a 30-minute TV show, it could work quite well. But for a feature film, I didn't think it was that interesting. And in general, I found that it was just a little bit slow and a little bit mundane. So that part of it didn't work. But we do have some very good editing. It's a very creative film. We have some really good performances. Visually, it's quite satisfying. So it's not the most engaging, but there are some aspects that work. But at the same time, the bit that I didn't love is that I kind of slightly felt like they were making a mockery out of hoarding. Hoarding is a mental illness. And they don't outright make fun of it in that sense, but if you're going to make a comedy mockumentary focusing on this, it just feels like they're not taking it very seriously. Whereas, would they do it with any other mental illness? Would they make a mockumentary comedy horror about any other mental health condition? I'd like to think not. So it doesn't sit right with me. I don't love that aspect. I don't love how they're approaching it. I think it would have been better if they'd maybe not focused on the hoarding aspect and just made it a mockumentary about haunted houses. Maybe interesting properties. They could still focus on the different houses and the different homeowners without really needing to make a mockery of hoarding. And again, they're not outright laughing at people or anything, but obviously just with the tone of the film, it's not great. And I don't love that aspect of it. So that coupled with a narrative that's just not the most engaging meant that it wasn't the most satisfying experience. But as I said, it is certainly creative. The performances are good, visually it's fine. So it's not the worst film ever. If you're curious, check it out. If you're not, I'd say you're not missing out on too much. In general, The Horde could have been a stronger film, but I think I would always have an issue with the approach that they're taking with the concept of hoarding. I think they could have told a similar story if they'd taken a slightly different angle, and for me at least, it would have been more enjoyable. So check it out if you're curious. If you're not that bothered, as I said, you're probably not missing out on too much. In general, it's an easy watch. It's not the most engaging, but maybe as background company, it could be good to put on while you're doing other things. I think The Horde had potential, and in some ways it met that potential, in others, not so much. Ultimately, I guess it's an okay film.